Swiss ski resort that brings together CEOs, politicians and celebrities wrapped up this weekend. Koos Bekker, the former CEO and now chair of Naspers, spoke to the SABC about his experience. Business anchor Francis Hurd started by asking him what the Davos fuss is all about.
It costs business people tens of thousands of dollars to come here for 4 days, and then you walk with your wet shoes in the slush. And there are lots of flaky people. Bono's always here and you get weird people. But in essence what happens is business people meet governments. Governments want money, they want jobs, and they want taxes, and they know that follows international investment. International investors can today invest in 200 countries in the world. So in a sense it's a beauty show. You know, you sit there as a Californian pension fund and you decide, shall I go to Argentina? Well, they had a very glamorous new president here, very telegenic. Shall I go to Canada, Argentina? You know, what about Poland? And South Africa, I see there's a show on them. Maybe I'll go and have a look. So in a sense, countries market themselves, and companies are here for two reasons. One, to select a country, and secondly, to look at technology. And there you've got old Hugo. And he will cost us a lot of jobs in Africa because things are being automated.
Well, let's start first with how well do you think South Africa is doing in this beauty show?
I think the government did, and business did reasonably well. We had a strong delegation of ministers, and some are good presenters. Pravin Gordhan and our governor of the Reserve Bank are both star performers. So I went to both their shows and they came off so well. The president was on multiple platforms, and then, you know, Rob Davies and Ibrahim Patel contributed. So the government did what they could. Business people also made sort of soothing, positive noises. And what I found interesting is that in South Africa, government and business don't really talk much or in a friendly and sensible way to each other at the moment. But here they do. And you know why? It's because they realize we're all in the same boat. When a company, whether it's, you know, Barclays or ourselves or Sasol, when you sell your shares, you basically sell two things. You sell the entity and then you sell the country. If people don't believe in the country, they'll never buy your shares. Business people realize that. So when they hear, they sort of punt the country. The government also realizes it. If they want jobs and they want taxes in the long term, they've got to sell us to foreign investors. So these two in Davos form a team, and I thought the team was reasonably good this week.
I think it is hard to compete because Europe seemed so much in the spotlight, the main events dominated by, in fact, the broadcasters that work with WEF, so UK, European, American issues. But can we benefit from what you're talking about, relationships, networking, the behind the scenes?
I think we do. The problem is Africa took two blows in the same year. You know, we always feature on the agenda for two reasons. One is an investment destination. So Nigeria says, come and invest in me. I've got so many million people and fast-growing economy and so on. But because the oil price tanked, and so did the mineral markets, Zambia, Angola, Nigeria are all really struggling. So they are less attractive as investment destinations. South Africa also had our little wobble last year. So from a purely investment point of view, we're less attractive than we were last year. I think we'll recover long term, but for the moment, we're not in the agenda as investment places. You have to force yourself on the agenda. But the second is humanitarian. You know, I was walking, coming to see you, past the Hilton. Now what you can do is you check your coat in, you walk past people eating apple strudel, and you descend into the cellar. And then for 75 minutes you get an experience of how it feels to walk in the shoes of a Syrian refugee from Syria to Europe. It's gripping. And then just the next floor up here, there's a virtual reality show of a girl in a refugee camp, what it feels like to live in a camp, 3D. And I get the idea that the sort of available empathy in Europe is fully consumed by the refugees. There's nothing left over for Africa. So the usual NGO presentations about, you know, why the world should help Africa, that's really absent this year. So it was a tough year, and it's going to be a tough year ahead, I think.
Well, Naspers CEO, Koos Bekker, on the spotlight on Africa, saying that